Hey, tell my beauty and budget beauty on. Somebody knocking at the door. Uh, uh,
Somebody
uh,
knocking at the door. Oh, 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 oh.
Hey girl, how you feel?
All right.
Ooh.
So you know how I was gonna go get the all you can eat shrimp, ribs, and wings tonight?
Yeah.
So that deal ended yesterday.
Oh,
We still ate there though. You back?
my bad. Me, I'm back. I think I backed up out of here. So you say the deal end. I do not like that the deal ended yesterday.
Yeah, it ended last night.
That's not good. Every time you say, and you've been planning all day just to eat good, just ooh ribs, ooh chicken wings. What was the other? Was it shrimp?
Yeah, it was like their breaded shrimp. I was gonna take the breading off,
Okay, you don't like the
and then
bread?
it came with fries too, but I wasn't gonna eat no fries.
Why not? What's wrong with the fries?
I think I'm pre-diabetic. I don't mess with taters unless it's tater tots or hash browns.
Okay, what you think the number is for the pre-diabetic?
I don't know. My body's not healing as fast. Like here, I'll type it.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead. You say we what we gonna talk about?
Okay, so what do you want to do when we go to Vegas? Like, what's something on your bucket list to do there?
Okay. Um, I I rather not say.
Well, like, is there like a restaurant or a store or something that
You
you
know,
want to do?
I've really been looking into it. I really, I'm more like I say I overthink a lot. So if I start looking into Vegas, I feel like I overthink the trip, right? So I'll be planning things, and then I'm like, if things don't go as I planned it, then I'm like, you want that fun, right? So because I know that I'm that way, I'm more like let it flow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna kind of look into it until I'm on the plane because if I don't, I overthink the whole trip. You see what I'm saying, or no?
I get that. I've been seeing a lot of videos like on my For You page on Facebook of like restaurants and things to do and how to do it on a budget and like what's all in Vegas and
When you said buddy, you was talking my language. Anyway,
like they got like it's like a hot dog cart or something. You can get a hot dog and a beer for $2.99 or something like that.
I like that. If we could switch that to a pop or water, they really did something. I like it.
But there's this place it's called Play and it's like bounce houses and like arcade games. There's that place I was telling you about.
Right. When you said play, adult play, I'm like, I already told you. Ugh.
Then they
Yeah.
got this place. It's like all you can eat sushi and hot pot.
Uh-huh.
And then they got some other ones. It's like all you can eat surf and turf. And those places are a little pricey though.
Yeah. Like how much? What's the dollar amount?
I think the sushi place is like 40 or $50, but the surf and turf place is like 89.
Now the 89 crazy. And then what when you said sushi?
Yeah.
I don't really like sushi either. Like when I say I'm so like I love food, but I'm basic at the same time. Like I don't really want to spend my quarter on nothing that I don't really want to eat.
Right. Like I was thinking instead of a plane, I was gonna Greyhound out there so I could put a
Oh,
bottle in my luggage, so I didn't
nice.
have to buy $20 cocktails out there. Just like fill up a
Okay.
flask, you know.
Did you check out how much the Greyhound to be?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna check on that too. I like I don't like it that much now, but it might can work. I'm gonna check into it. I'm gonna check into it. I don't mind. I wonder, do they have another thing I really like is a plane ride. I mean, not a plane ride, a train ride.
Uh, they might have Amtrak that goes out there,
Amtrak be going so many places. I'm gonna check on Amtrak too. Let me see. Well, I think I just put
but,
my phone on check. But anyway,
but I think Amtrak's a little bit more expensive than the Greyhound. Greyhound just takes longer.
I, that's why I'm like, I don't know about Greyhound because your legs gonna be so sore, so tight. Mine is. They gonna be like, oh, child, why you do that? So I don't want to be sore before I get there.
Because I've never been on a plane before.
You haven't.
No.
Okay. I think it'll be a great. I think you're scared. First of all, I think you're scared. That's why you opted out for the bus. But I don't think you should be. It's not really nothing that scary. Your ears pop for about 5 minutes the first time. And then after that, it go away, and it's so peaceful in the sky. It's like an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, right? So
But at the
it's
same
really
time, like if I get stuff there, you said you wanted to go to that thrift store out there. I'll be able to
okay.
take more home on the bus.
Okay, you don't feel like you could put all that little stuff in on the train. I mean on the plane. I'm thinking about the train so much. On the
'Cause They
plane.
they weigh it, and like Greyhound, they weigh it too. But like if it's under a certain amount, like you don't have to pay extra.
Okay. But
But
on the
with a
plane you do.
plane, they'd be like, "Oh, it's over, this 10 pound or 20 pound limit. We're gonna have to charge you for an extra bag." Oh no, I'm gonna have to look
Right.
into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. Because I was even thinking, I don't know how long the drive is, but I might drive. I like driving too. Right? So I like that you think it's so many other ways to get around. But I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna look up all of them to see what's the best way. The best way. Okay. They got the Mega Bus. I don't know if the Mega Bus go there, but I know the Mega Bus be going a lot of places too. You know about the Mega Bus?
Uh-uh. I
Okay, well
do
the
know
Mega.
that like when you hit like the mountains and stuff, it switches from Greyhound to like Jefferson lines or something.
Oh, okay. Oh, I ain't went far the mountain then because I ain't never switched over.
Well, when we went to South Dakota, we switched from Greyhound to Jefferson lines. Like I can't remember where, but
Okay, you liked it to switch over?
I mean it's the same thing. It's just a different bus company.
Okay, right. We only take you so far. Greyhound don't go here. You got to get to Jefferson now. So okay. So you've been thinking about it. I see. What are you thinking about? Like what you trying to do out there?
I don't know. It just depends on what everybody like wants to do, like as a group, because they got this thing where you can like do like a 9 person zip line to see like the skyline of Vegas.
Okay.
Then they got that Ferris wheel over there and all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay.
But we're
I
trying to
thought
do it
about
on a
that,
budget.
but
We'll have to like.
I don't like heights. I don't want to zip line across nothing. Or even when people like, I want to jump out of plane for what? I want to skydive. Why? All those things.
Yeah, I'm
All
afraid of
those
heights
things
too,
do
but
not make sense. I wanna jump out of a plane.
it was just something like if the group voted, I'd go.
Uh so now I don't think my thing is I feel like I go ahead and jump out this plane, right? And while I'm falling, I'm scared. Ah! I forget to even pull what it is they told me to pull because I'm so scared that.
Well, the first time they make you go with someone, like someone strapped to your back,
Mm,
and they pull the thing.
okay, and see that's what I'm saying. So the first time you let me ride with you, you pulled the thing, so I ain't had to worry about it too much, right? So the second time, I'm supposed to be an expert there, right? I'm going by myself. I'm so scared because I'm flying there. Ain't nobody to here to save me but me, and I forgot to save myself. So I'm gonna pass.
Like,
Yeah,
you said you've been to Indiana Beach, right?
yeah, I'm an idiot.
You know, like the ski lift thing that goes across the park.
Oh yeah, I didn't been on them, but I don't like that either. I don't like to
I
be
didn't
going
like it
nowhere
either.
and we slowly and I'm looking down and I'm feeling like is this cord gonna snap at these?
Like the whole time, I'm like, so where, if I fell, would it be
Right,
a safe place to land?
right. Nowhere. You out of here. Like
Well, at
so
one point, you go over like a pool or something. So I was like, that'd probably be the ideal place.
see, I told so when I'm going over a pool, in my mind, what I'm thinking is if I go in this pool, that actually, if this were the thing snap at, I'm drowning. So, in that case, all I'm thinking about is I ain't gonna make it off this thing. I'm probably gonna do something wrong to make it snap because I'm already afraid. That's what I mean about the pulling thing. I'm just gonna say no to that. So if everybody else want to go in the sky and go across the rope and zip line, I'll cheer for y'all. I will. Oh, you, but I will not be a part. I'm
But
not. No,
it
it's
seemed
no.
like they have some good thrift stores out there, though, too.
And now we talking. So let's get to the biz because
Like, I can't remember if it was in Vegas or not. I think there was one in Vegas, like, where you pay by the pound.
okay, what we paying by the the thrift store you pay by the pound?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of clothes.
Okay.
I can't remember if that one
What
was
is
in
it
Vegas because I've been seeing stuff for like thrift stores and stuff, but some of them were in Vegas, some of them weren't. So
called?
I have to
Okay.
go back. I saved a bunch of them, so I'll have to go back and look. And then there was this one where you pay like $20 at the door, and whatever you can carry, is what you can take out.
You about to make me get a little bus ride too. I'll be like, this her bed. I'm gonna go by somebody that ain't got nothing but them. You know how people just say, I just want to go to nature, and then it's just them. They only got a backpack on their back, and you just slide that suitcase right by there and say that was hers. I'm helping a friend.
Well, the last time I was on Greyhound, I had one duffel bag that was overstuffed, and then I had two carry-on bags, and they didn't say shit.
See, well, if they would have said, "Bam, you can't get on here, put that back," what would you go say?
I would have been like, "Hey, look," because I had some of it in a grocery sack. So
Okay,
I would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't put it back in my backpack."
right.
I would have pulled something. It fits in my damn seat, man.
Oh Lord, put what back? Like I said, I'll go find somebody that ain't got a lot of stuff and say, "Can you carry this on for me? I'm back." Hey, that's it. I'll go find somebody that don't have a lot of stuff, and I'll be like, "Can you listen, a trip? Do you mind um carrying this on for me?" And they a lot of people won't mind, right? Now you will get some people like, "No, why would I touch your things?" Yeah, you just go to somebody else with a nice backpack. Like, hey, how you doing?
And the good thing is, we're only going for 3 days, so like, like my carry-on's gonna be like
Sure.
my
No,
shampoo and
4
conditioner,
days.
all my hygiene shit, and
Uh-huh.
then like
Wait,
my
pause. You said we was only going for 3 days. I thought we was going for 4 days.
Oh, are we going for 4? I thought it was 3. Well, you said Friday, Saturday, Sunday
No, it was from the 28th, right, to the
to the
31st,
31st.
right?
So the 28th, 29th. Okay, 4 days. You're right.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute, we just shortened it up. We only it's like 3 days now. Listen,
Well,
don't
still,
you
that's
look like
not
a
a lot
gift
of
girl?
clothes for
You
my
don't need
duffel
it.
bag, you know.
Mhm.
So if I did bring some stuff home, I have room.
Mhm. Okay. It's 7 p.m. 95 degrees. I just saw my daughter. I guess because I had to look through all this paperwork. Her eighth grade picture, and I was like, man, like from that time to now, to me, she looked different. I don't think what as we age and we don't see, us aging and everything. I gotta show her this picture. But anyway, she looked different. She looked very different.
Well, especially like when you're going through like your teenage years and stuff,
Mhm.
and then like a few years after that, because your brain don't quit developing until you're like 28,
Right,
and so like your body's still like adjusting to hormonal stuff, and it just changes you.
right.
Like, have you ever been on Facebook and been like, "Hey, I wonder what this person's doing," and it was like, one of the popular girls in school, and you've been like, "Damn, what happened to her?"
Now what happened to her? Lord have mercy.
Well, they used to make fun of me for being fat, and they were all skinny. And I look at them now and they've got like 10 kids and,
And then
they're as big as I was.
yeah, 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 yeah. And then your size, yeah. And you like, girl, bye. Listen, hit the link, y'all. If y'all scared, y'all nervous, y'all think we might bite, let us know.
Come up, Icky.
She's seeking facts, right? Right. Is you coming up 77? Or do you want to be capping tonight? I don't know, because y'all be liking to change it up on me. Who you is you coming up? But yeah, I don't know. When I see people, I think mainly when I see people out, I just saw a girl the other day that I knew. I forgot her name, so I'm looking like, do you speak? Do you not speak? Do you say, hey, how you doing? What do you do? I don't know, right? So I say, hey, did you used to go to so and so school? She say, yeah, hey girl. Oh, somebody knocking at the door. Oh,
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 oh, oh.
okay.
Can you hear me?
Hey.
What's up, beauty?
You say it's gonna be 77 today.
What
I
up,
like it.
AMD?
Okay.
How,
Okay.
how y'all
How
doing
you
What's
feel?
tonight?
up?
Good. How you feel?
Exhausted.
Why? Oh,
Yeah.
can we see? Can we see? Or we can't see. I don't know. Can we? See the what the apps? What are you?
The abs.
Yeah.
You just gonna put me out?
Oh, okay.
Look at
Okay.
that, tell me.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think you need to lose weight. But back to what I was saying. So sometimes when I see people, I be like, do you speak? Do you not speak? Do you, I'm not sure, right? Um, Sometimes I don't, right? I act like I don't know him, but I was really kind of confused as was this the person that I knew, right? Now, like I said, I did forget her name. But it was so crazy because I thought she was ignoring me too. And when I got to talk to her, she really was not ignoring me. We had a whole long conversation. And if I wouldn't even acknowledge her or said, "Hey, is you from so and so school? Is your name something with a T?" And she went ahead and told me what her name was. I feel like I would have went out like and she ignored me. You know what I'm saying? And she did. She did. But so I'm good for ignoring people. I'm good for even when I see somebody in the store, I'm ducking, I'm hiding because I don't really want to conversate.
There was
So,
this one dude that I went to school with. We were leaving the pantry and he had parked behind us. And he was like just standing there, like
uh,
staring at me for like 10 minutes. Like, hey, are you going to recognize me? It's like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Go on your way. I looked it up earlier. He got a wife and everything.
oh, okay. So what he was doing, he was staring at you.
Yeah, I was talking, like, we go up to my mom's friends.
Uh,
I was putting her groceries in the back of her van. We were all standing at the back of the van talking, the four of us, like, gaggling geese. And
okay.
he just stood there behind his moped, like
Mm.
staring at us for like 10 minutes.
So you told this man you don't want nothing to do with him, and then you say you found out he got a wife and kids and everything.
I didn't tell him nothing. I ignored him.
Why? Why didn't you speak? If this was an old high school buddy, why didn't you speak?
He wasn't like a buddy, but like I knew him from school. Like I knew who he was.
Mm. Okay. What do you have to say about that 77? 77. What do you have to say about that?
Okay.
What do you have to say about that? Do you see people like that that you used to know? Do you hide from 'em or do you speak to them?
Oh, my second. Talking about people from school.
Yes.
Yeah, I seen people from school that used to like pick on me when I was heavier because I used to be 300 pounds,
Oh,
and
okay.
and like it took me like a year and a half after football and wrestling, and then trying to join the military.
Nice.
I changed. I came back to my hometown. Nobody recognized me because I lost 100 pounds. And then
Wow.
all the girls that I used to try to talk to back in my hometown, they came to me like, "Oh, who's he? Who's he?" And I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, "We went to the same class. What do you mean, who's he?" And it was funny because my older brother had to reintroduce me to my old classmates. So it was a weird feeling. But was it AMBS? She's speaking absolute facts.
Right. Okay. So how did you feel in that moment? Did you actually try to talk to them? Did you be like, okay, you can talk to me now? Like, how did you feel? Or, I wish I would
Oh
talk to
no, trust me, revenge is sweet. And the reason why I say that is kind of to be an asshole, but not really, because they sure like they made a spectacle about putting me down when I tried to talk to them. They're like, "Oh, you ain't nobody," and they made sure their friends and everybody knew. When I came back, granted, we were
you.
only like 20, like that's
Right.
still young. So we only been out of school like a year, almost 2 years. I
Wow.
had my shit together, and the
Oh,
girls that I like either had two kids already, and having the third one was one of them, and then the other one she had one kid and she was on her second. And I was like,
right.
not that that's a bad thing. Like, if that's what you choose, that's what you choose. But I was like, who's the baby daddy? Just being a little curious. I was like, is it one of our classmates? We're like, oh, they in jail. And I'm like, oh, I dodged a bullet. God protected me.
What you liked about them?
It was high school beauty. To be honest, it's mostly just body. They had tits and
Right.
ass at the time, and I ain't never experienced that.
Right.
I didn't even get close enough to get to know their personality, so I can tell you.
Right. You just like the physical.
So yeah, the older I get, my mindset changed, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to deal with other people's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'd be a great addition if they add on and like bring peace to my life, and we have common interests. But other than
Right.
that, I'm not taking on anybody else's headaches. I got enough to deal with.
Right. So they was all chasing you down like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah, part of it was when I came back, they saw me in my uniform. So
Oh, okay. They like, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
you already know. They see a guy in uniform, and they're like, "Oh, guaranteed paycheck." So
Wow.
I'm
Not
not
nothing
stupid.
about you, not your personality, just the money.
Yeah, just the money.
When the people trying to talk to me, I promise you, I be like, what else? They be like, I got money. I be like, what else? What
See,
else? I
that's
hate to
that's
hear that. I got money, and that's cool. That's nice, but what else?
that's the thing. Like they've warned us about in the military. They're like, "Oh, as soon as you get in, don't be surprised you get this attention, this that. Like you'll be more recognized at home, especially if you go overseas." They're like, "Oh, you're just a green card or entry into America." So
Mm,
you gotta be on guard all the time.
wow, that's sad. That's really sad. What you think, Absolutely? You think it's sad? What you think, girl?
Yeah, it is. Cause like this kid I went to elementary school with, I was walking down the street one day, and he was like working on his house or something, and he goes, "Amber, is that you?" And he was like looking me up and down. I was walking down the street with Rusty, and I was like, "Oh, he thinks I'm hot."
You did that double take, like, hold up.
No, he like stopped me and talked to me for a minute.
Oh, he went through puberty then. His balls
What
dropped.
happened? I missed it. What you saying? Happened, girl?
This kid I went like I was in elementary school with, and we went to like high school and everything. I was walking down the street one day, and now he like fixes up houses and he like rents them out and stuff.
Okay.
He was also my assistant manager at Walmart when I worked there.
Okay.
And he goes, "Amber, is that you?" And he was all like looking me up and down, like started a whole conversation while my boyfriend was standing next to me and everything.
Oh, what you say?
I mean, I couldn't really say a whole lot because Rusty was, standing
Yeah.
next to me. So
You just looking like
Ever did a double take? Oh, hold up.
I already know you. All right.
I ain't gonna lie, he gave me a big head about myself at the time.
Oh, really?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I already
I
know
got a
you.
question in that regards because I always wondered, like, granted, I know when we're in high school and stuff, hormones are high, everybody trying to have sex or trying to figure it out. What's the girl's perspective about sex when they're young and
Oh,
like high school
let's say
versus?
fun time. Fun time. No, I'm serious. I don't think you can say that word on here. So fun time.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
I'm not used to this YouTube or going live.
Me,
I don't know the rules.
I'm learning every day. I'm like, we can't say that. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't. So can we do that? Can we say that?
But see, it
Okay. So
just depends because, like, I was I was with older guys. Like, I never dated anybody in high school.
Hmm. And why is that? Like, is it just like an attraction? Is it like financial security or more experience? I'm genuinely
Well,
curious to know the reason why.
like the reason that I did it is because, like, I grew up with all them people. Like
Mhm.
they made fun of me, K through fifth grade, like the whole class.
I'm
And then
listening.
everybody like, split into their own cliques when we got to high school.
Gotcha.
So it's like I didn't really have no interest in them because I didn't feel like they even, you know, had a thought about it.
I got you. What about you, Beauty?
I don't know. I think kids need to be kids. So many people be trying to be grown and pressure you to um do things that you should be waiting to be grown to do. And I feel like if kids just are simply allowed to be kids, or if the older, right? So not like they super old, right? I be feeling like a lot of, I would say, 20 to 25-year-old, even though they still young, they're older. They can influence you sometimes in the wrong way. It's that same kind of age group, right? Because they older, even though they not old, they older. So I feel like if they had the right guidance for the people that was younger, while they was younger, if they had the right guidance, then maybe they could guide the people and try to tell them, wait, just wait a little bit. Well, I think that we should kind of wait and don't be trying to be so grown, because we're going to be grown way longer than we get a chance to be a kid. And I always wanted to enjoy my kid years, experience them kid years. I did. I had a lot of fun when I was a kid, and I'm so happy I did, because now you ain't gonna have that same carefree life that you was able to enjoy for them 10 years. Just ain't happening. You gotta actually care now.
Mm,
It's actually consequences for a whole lot of stuff. They want that many consequences for while you was a kid. So that's what I think.
I got you.
What do you think? You
Like,
asked all these questions. I ain't heard you answer none.
I answered the questions.
No, you
Don't try to
didn't.
put me on the spot like that.
You,
Like I ain't
you
doing my
own it.
job.
You own the spot, because I didn't hear you answer this question.
In
After
in
you hear
terms
him answer this question, what he thought about it.
I'm staying
in,
out of
ter-
this.
in
I
terms of appeal, like when I was younger,
Yeah, what do you think?
as a young man, like we kind of make a game out of it because like you coming into your own as an adult, so hormones are raging and like I don't know how to explain it, but like either you really want to sleep with somebody or if you're repressed, it comes out in anger. Like from a guy's perspective, like you either want to sleep with somebody or you want to fight. Um,
Oh,
so it's almost like, hey, I gotta get this stress, or like I don't know what's bothering me. I gotta get it off. And the only thing that you find appealing is the body. So when you see like a girl like walk by and she got a body, it's just like instantly like, oh Jesus, that's nice. Um, but as you get older and you actually deal with people, like we like I didn't get a lot of girls growing up. Like I said, I was heavier. They didn't even look my way. So I was envious of like my older brother and my cousins and stuff. And I would see them in relationships and they're like, man, I can't stand her. Like I wish she shut the hell up. And I'm like, man, I dream of getting a girl like that.
I want to talk to me.
But like the older I got and I started like dealing with people's personality, it's just like you'll be surprised how many people actually don't have personality or are annoying as hell. Like some of the dates I went on when I was lucky enough to get the experience, I genuinely try to get to know the girl. This girl over here on her cell phone concerned with Instagram and Tinder. I got up and I walked out. I was like, screw it.
Like,
Like,
pay attention
if
to me.
look, if I made time for you and we together, why are you focusing on someone else? Like you're not paying attention to the conversation, you're not contributing. Like I came on your stream, you called me out, right? How would you feel if I got on camera and I'm playing a video game, I'm ignoring everything you saying? It's
Now,
disrespectful,
I would
right?
have told you to put it down, put it away.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Now imagine you taking somebody out and trying to like pay for the meal, get to know them, and they do that to you.
And you supposed to
That
say, put that away.
see, I did.
And they
I
did it.
did. No. They kept checking their phone, going on Instagram. I'm like, hey, she more concerned about that than me. I'm walking out. Cause
Right,
I ain't gotta be rude. I ain't gotta be aggressive.
right.
Hey, it seemed
Bye.
like you're not interested anyway. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would have left too. Like if because I will tell you what I want. I'm a great advocate for telling you things I want and don't want, what I like and I don't like. So if I tell you, I don't feel like we got to argue about it. I could just dismiss myself.
And that's one of the things I learned growing up. And I'm like, I ain't got the patience to deal with it,
I think cell
especially
phones can be disrespectful. That's a form of disrespect, though. If I'm sitting here and we supposed to be giving each other time and attention, and you sitting here, it's a bit disrespectful, because I could have spent this time easily with somebody else.
exactly. So it's basically the same thing women
Shame me?
feel or what women do. It's the same thing. It's just different approaches on how we do it.
Hmm. Yes, girl. That sugar be terrible. I understand that one. You know I do. Yeah, cell phones can be addictive, but I do think not just an addiction, but it's a bit disrespectful. Some people just rude, disrespectful, and they be knowing better, and they still are just
Like sometimes I use my phone as like a fidget toy, if
Nah,
that makes sense.
right,
But like if I'm out to dinner or something, I'll make sure like I put it away. But if somebody else is on their phone, like I'll just get on mine.
right.
see, you
But
got
like
more
I make
patience than
the
me.
effort at first to try to stay off of it.
And you got more patience than me because the way I see it is if like I don't know if like the girls think about it the same way guys do because you guys aren't paying for it. But if I gotta get dressed, I gotta like drive you to the restaurant. I gotta pay for the restaurant, and I gotta like keep your attention. I'm putting in all the work, and the least you can do is pay attention.
Exactly.
See that's completely disrespectful on a whole different level. And like I said, I don't know the woman's opinion, but from a guy's perspective, just like Beauty said, I could be spending my time on something else. Like why am I even here with you? Let alone I spent money on you. The hell with that.
It's like why does she even get like, dressed up? Like not saying that, women do something. They like try to look good.
Right. And what do you think what a lot of people be wanting to go Dutch date? What do you think about that?
Uh, like going Dutch, it seems like the way to go. To be honest with you,
Really?
yeah. It sounds terrible, but when you think about it, like I don't know, your generation is different than mine. But when
I'm
you
in the
think
same
about it,
generation.
say again,
I'm in the same generation.
millennial, you '90s
Yes.
baby.
I'm actually an 80s baby, but I'm in the late 80s.
Oh, I got you.
So I am a millennium as well.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like I don't know how y'all were taught. Like be independent, get your own. That's fine. My thing is, it goes back to the respect thing. It's all right, you got your own money. It's not about that. But when you get disrespectful, like, hey, my money is my money and your money is my money, that's when
Mm,
you gotta check somebody. Like, let me put you in your place real quick. I'm
mm,
being nice. Don't like that shouldn't be expected that, hey, I'm gonna walk out the house. I ain't gonna spend my money. Somebody else got me covered. Like
wow.
I don't know what look, y'all have a completely different way of growing up than what guys do because we're taught to pretty much like that provide, protect, yeah, that nonsense. But we also got to be aware of our surroundings, how much we spend, how to budget, choose like pick and choose what we can and can't do. And when you ask someone in your life that's just like, oh, give me, and they don't have a thought of how to get it on their own or what you had to do to work for it, then they're not an asset to your life. They're more of a headache.
Like if I go somewhere, I'll try to make sure I have my own money. If they offer to pay,
I was just about to say the same thing. I was just about to say the same thing.
And that's the thing. One thing that surprised me, um, I told Beauty what happened in Atlanta, like the girls that expected me to pay.
oh,
Now when
I think I was here for that.
now when I went to my cousin's wedding, he got married in Italy. Like he was also military. Um, I took one of the bridesmaids out on a date, and literally it was just like, hey, I'm not used to what this part of Italy. I've been to Rome, I've been to Florence, I haven't been here. And she was like, well, let me show you around my hometown. And she offered me like to show me around, go like to events and everything. And I was like, wow, I never had a girl do that for me, like offered just to show me her hometown. And then when it came to lunch, she was like, oh, this is the best place to eat, this, that. She was like, here, let me buy you a meal. I said, no, like, you don't got to buy my meal. Why would you do that? And that's just part of how I was raised. But she was like, oh, no, I want to. You're in my hometown. So I said, no, how about I buy both of our meals? And she was like, no, I can afford my own. Just her generosity, like her personality, completely different from the US. And I was like, you know what? Your meal's on me just for being nice. But it's very rare
Do
that
you
you
wish
get that over here.
you wish you would have dated her?
I took her out on like probably 2 dates, but I ain't have enough time. I was only there for like a week. The marriage was the priority because I was happy for my cousin. But if I would say out of all the girls I met, she will probably be like a prospect for like a wife, just
Nice.
because her mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that makes sense. I'm not just rambling, am I?
Uh-uh. I just this is my first time eating, so I just turned the camera off because I don't want to be eating on here. But I'm here. I am here.
I'm here too, but I got a dog squeaking a ball in my ear, so I got myself on mute when she's squeaking it. I don't
Dang,
know if you
man,
can hear it in the background.
I just feel targeted now. I'm the only one alive.
Here, I'll turn my camera on. See,
Yeah, so I want to
she
hear you
wanting to
talk.
play.
And what things that make you feel like this one a wife? That's another thing I be always want to know. What's a wife over what do you feel like a wife is over a girlfriend? Like, how do you choose?
You really want to know that, or you just collecting
No,
ammo?
I really want to know. I don't ask nothing that I don't really want to know.
So most girls, like I said, our generation beauty, they get offended if they say, "Hey, I'm not your mother," or "You expect me to do the stuff your mom would do." And I
Mm-hmm.
find it ironic because these the same girls that will say, "Hey, I judge a man based on how he treats his mother,"
Mm-hmm.
and I find that extremely hypocritical
Mm-hmm.
because you want to judge me on how I treat my mother, but yet if I ask you to do something that my mother does that may like trigger like nostalgia or may bring like comfort to me,
Right.
it's a workload, or you take that offensive, like, oh, I ain't your mother. I'm like, all right, cool. I
What
ain't
kind
asked you to be,
of are you
but
asking?
that's something like how can I put it? What if you had a husband or something that came home and just randomly, like it's not a certain day or anything, it just randomly rubbed your feet, like clipped your toenails, stuff like that. Would you appreciate that?
Yes. What kind of things are you asking them to do?
No, I'm not asking them personally. Like I said, I don't have that many encounters. Too much. I keep to myself. But
Mhm.
I'm bringing that up for an example. When they get offended, like, "Hey, I'm not your mother. Don't expect me to do this, this, that." I can say the same thing. I'm not your father. Why should you get princess treatment? You ain't nobody to me but a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Like until we establish that relationship, don't expect me to take care of your bills or handle your stuff if you brand new to me. I ain't your daddy. So it's the same thing. Like I don't understand how you can, as a female, have such expectations. Hey, I'm gonna cut this guy out. I'm gonna cut this guy out, but get offended when a guy has the same expectations. And the reason I bring up the mother is because in a guy's life, when you grow up, nobody's gonna show you mercy or care. You just adapt to the world to how it is. The only woman that's gonna love you unconditionally is your mother. If you're lucky enough to have a grandmother, maybe your grandmother. But those are the two most important women you're gonna have in your whole entire life. And then when it comes to your wife, you choose your wife. So of course I want to look for the qualities that my mother or my grandmother has because that's been the best example for me. Now, you saying, "Hey, I ain't your mother," or "Don't expect me to do stuff your mother do," means that not only are you insulting me, like by saying, "Hey, I ain't gonna do nothing for you," or "Don't expect this because you ain't nothing to me." You're now insulting my mother and my grandmother and the standards they set or the way they treated me. So, so it's like an insult, not just on me. It's an insult towards my family,
Right.
and that's what y'all don't realize, or not y'all. I'm just saying, like most
Because I'm
don't
sure about
realize.
to tell you.
So,
I don't understand that because I think that some women are natural. Like I like catering to you, so I don't understand it. I will say I'm not your mother because I can do things to you that she can't do. I like to say that. Yeah.
yeah, but that also contributes to what I'm getting at. Beauty is, as a man, I'm choosing you. I'm not asking you to be my mother. I'm looking for the qualities that my mother had because I want to see you give those same things to my child.
Mm-hmm.
Most people just think it's a sexual or a physical thing. No, for most men in general, I can't speak for everybody, but most men that want to be stable or actually want a relationship, they look for qualities not for themselves because that'll be selfish, but for the future generation. Hey, how would she treat my kids? How do she talk to them? Can she cook? Because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
expecting you to cook for me. I am expecting you to cook for my kids.
Right.
Now, am I wrong for looking for those qualities? Because God forbid I die, I can't provide for my kids. How do I know they're being well fed? How do I
Right.
know they're taken care of?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we look for qualities like that. And I don't understand how women don't understand that. Like they get offended immediately. And I'm like, you do know I'm looking further down the road.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know. And
And I
that's
think
my
everybody
mindset.
should. I think everybody should. That's why I say I really don't think teens should date. And now I know they gonna, but I would
Yeah.
prefer teenagers because you're still learning who you is. You're still learning the things you like, the things you don't like, and you really just don't know. So I think that experience of dating when you super young like that really mess you up.
Well, that's the only way they're gonna find out to be truthful. However, I don't think they should really have like a sexual encounter because they don't understand the responsibility of raising a child or how much it's gonna cost.
Mm.
Like one of the things I look at, like if I'm looking for a wife right now, one of the things that's big to me that I would look for is if she's financially literate.
Mm.
And you will be surprised, beauty, how many people are just ignorant and happy with it.
Huh. I'm actually not surprised.
And the reason why I say that is I know some people, like I know women buy makeup and stuff, they keep up their appeal. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But when I see you got your priorities mixed up, you rather buy makeup, weave, nails, stuff like that, over paying your rent
I
or
just
paying your
had
car note.
had that same argument, and somebody told me, no, because you got to keep up your appearance and this and that. I'm like, listen, but people are skipping out on their rent.
But that's exactly what I'm getting at, and I'm glad you said that, because what that tells me, I don't even know the girl's name or whatever. I don't need to know that. But what that tells me is, yeah, she values her appearance. There's nothing wrong with that. But you rather have that than a house or a car. So you rather be
Right.
homeless and look good than to be like a average and be
Come
stable.
on.
And then here's my mindset. What that tells me is, if you prefer your appearance more so, that tells me that you are relying on me as a man to take care of everything else, not just your needs, but your wants, because you're focused on one thing. You don't see the bigger picture. And that's an immediate termination for me.
And a lot of people don't see the bigger picture. That is, what you just stated is the bigger picture for a lot of people. Just simply looking good. They ain't thinking about no how to save no money at all.
I give
How
you a
to
perfect
make more
example.
money.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm done.
I'll give you a perfect example that's happened on a statewide level. I don't know if you keep up with the news, but from a guy's perspective, because I don't want to just point and say, hey, women are wrong, wrong, wrong. But look at what's going on in Atlanta. The biggest thing was to buy like the Hellcats, those like racing engines, and they brought them when COVID was giving out like the stimulus checks and PPE loans and stuff. Now
Uh-huh.
Georgia has repossessed, I think, like what, 40, 50% of the cars that were bought during COVID. They just been repoing them back to back. But as a guy, why is your priority to buy a car like that goes fast? One, you're gonna get a ticket in Georgia if you break the speed limit. Like you go over 70, that's a super speeding ticket. So what's the point in having an engine if you can't use it? Two, you just want to show off for the club. You spent so much money on your car, you don't have an apartment to come home to, or you living with someone else. So your priorities are messed up. That's the way I see it. I don't know if I'm making sense to y'all, but things like that aggravate the hell out of me.
You
It
is
makes
And
making
perfect
a whole lot of
sense.
sense because that money that we spent on that fast car, we could have invested in a small house. People want the big houses, but they don't understand. Let's first get a small house that belongs to us instead of this car. And the reason
and
why they don't have the money to pay for the car is because they didn't have their priorities right in the first place.
And people don't understand, like, you buy something, it takes money to maintain that thing that you bought.
exactly. Thank you. Somebody with common sense. Thank you. Because that irritates the hell out of me. Like I literally know some people that will exchange their car like every year or every 2 years, and like, oh, I got to get the newest model. Like they're trading cars like with cell phones, and the car note goes up. This is excluding the insurance, the registration, the maintenance, just the car note, and they're like, oh, my car note's more than my rent. Like why? And I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional about that. That literally angers me.
I was thinking about it earlier. Like, they're like, oh, Elon Musk has so many. Why doesn't he just give, every person $1 billion? It's like all his living expenses. He got 10 kids and like 3 baby mamas. That's 3 houses, 3 car notes, plus his. And he has to maintain those.
See,
Plus, he's
I like
putting money into all the companies that he's got.
see. Somebody just comment. What is it? The boss nowadays buying a home isn't the interest most people do to the economy and where our current living conditions. I get what he's getting at, but here's my thing with that as well. Your house is going to be your like permanent residence, and one thing, this is speaking from the black community. One thing we don't own is land or property, which means we don't have power. And what we get messed up is we don't consider like generational wealth or passing things on. We just think, oh, I'm gonna get my own, is gonna work out, or I can do it on my own. We don't set our kids up for like future success. Now, the boss, what he's talking about, the houses are outrageous. They're 3 times their actual value. So I get it, but we also have a power with that because we can stay in an apartment, and on a mass level, if people just stop buying houses, the industry has no other options but to lower the price. Otherwise, they lose their job and all the market value they invested in. But yeah, back to the subject. I'm sorry to go off on that.
The reason why we don't have anything to pass down because we felt like once we made it, I got it out the mud. My children should have to get it out the mud too. But I feel
Yeah.
like I got it out the mud for my kids won't have to.
And that's my mindset, beauty, because
I don't want my kids to have to do the struggling or getting it out the mud. I'm getting it out the mud for them. I ain't getting it out the mud for me.
this is my thing. I'm not bragging or anything because I ain't rich and I'm far from it. Um, Part of the reason I went in the military is like one, I wanted the experience, I wanted the education because there was nothing in my hometown. You know what the first thing I did when I got in the military was? It was get life insurance and set up like a will for my family. That was the first thing I did. And then second was set up like a an emergency bank account that accumulates interest. So just like the years I've been in, it just kept saving, saving, saving.
Right.
And like I saved to the point where like I don't have a family, but I know if I did have one, they're taken care of. Like for instance, if I have a kid right now and they want to go to college, serving my time in the military, they have what's called the GI Bill that covers up like I think 80,000. So just up to a master's degree, most likely. And if I don't use it, because I got my degree while I was in the military, but I am using part of it now, the money that's still in there, I can pass on to my kid. So when they're ready for college, if military isn't their route, and they show me that they're capable of handling college or they're putting forth the work effort, I already know that money's there to take
I
care of.
love it. That is so
But
nice.
most people don't think like that. They're just selfish.
Because they want to get it out the mud and then they want their kids to go get it out the mud or try to get it out the mud too. What if your kid ain't built like you? That was your job. I feel like as parents, that is our job. We struggle to do make their life way better than whatever we had. If we think we had the best life, we want them to have an even better life. I do.
Exactly.
I do. My
So
whole being, I feel like everything I do is simply to make sure they okay. That I don't want much. My whole being is to make sure they is okay.
that's my mindset. So I don't ask for much. The only time I really treat myself is if I go traveling the world because that was something my grandparents instilled in me. Like every time I visit their house, they had an old photo album, and it was every place that they ever traveled to. And I just wanted memories like that that my grandparents showed me. I said, watch, one day I'm gonna have my own photo book and I'm gonna show you places you haven't been to that I've been to. And now that's what I do with my granddad. Like my grandmother, she passed. So I can't do that with her now. But I show my granddad all the time, like, hey, I've been to here. Have you been here yet? And that's just for me, that's a special moment or memory that I have with one of my family members. Because other than that, most of my family haven't been outside their hometown for the most part.
Right. I'm back. Yeah, outside of their hometown. Yeah. My granny used to have a photo book too. of so many places. I think we inherited the photo books now, but she used to keep not just a photo book, like plenty. She used to take a lot of pictures. I always used to when my kids was little just take so many pictures. I wanted to go to the mall every month almost to get them pictures. And at first it was like it was silly to everybody else, but um, I kind of stopped that in the last couple of years, and now when I be looking for a picture, I'm like, oh, I know what they look like, or if the camera roll come up, I know what they look like. But when I'm seeing it, I don't see it physically on the picture, on a photograph, because I had kind of stopped it. And I used to do it, like I said, because my grandma had so many picture books, and we could just go
Right.
through the years of time with different family members we never met, and hear the stories about them. And you can't do that now because everything on the phone.
Yeah.
You have to like wait for the 1 hour photos at Walgreens or whatever with your little
Yeah, I
Kodaks and stuff.
yeah.
I
Walmart,
miss that.
I used to go to J.C. Penney, okay, Kmart.
Yeah, I miss Kmart so bad.
Oh, right,
That they used to have everything Joe Boxer in the women's section. Everything.
right. Yes. Them was my stores. All of them. I liked it, all of them. And I liked it to take the photos and all of them. So they don't do it no more.
They still
Mm-mm.
sell Polaroid film, but it's really expensive.
Oh no, it's not. Um,
It's,
you got a store called Five Below.
Oh,
they
I
sell
got
it
five.
there.
Yeah, Five Below got old Polaroids and stuff. They were surprised. They surprised me because they had a little camcorder, like the old recording ones. They
Hmm.
got one for about 20, 25 bucks.
I seen that
Like,
the last time I was there, but did they just have? I don't think they just have the film because I have an old Polaroid. It just
yeah,
needs the film.
they got two different versions, or at least the one where I'm at. They got the old Polaroid with the film, and then they got the self printing one. So as soon as you take a picture, it prints off like a small little picture that you can keep, like a little travel size one.
See, I seen the one where it's like it, the newer one.
I haven't seen the newer one, but it just caught me off guard because I was like, oh man, these are old, and I saw that Five Below. I had them for like anywhere from $5 to like $20, and it was just like a little nostalgia thing. So the camera was the one that got me. It was like $20, and it was only like a few gigabytes that you put the chip in, but small little camera that you can carry. It had HD quality, but it was just like an old school camcorder. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Five Below need to change their name to Five and Up.
And
No kid, and I seen they had a clearance rack in there. They didn't have no prices on nothing.
for
I
the most
walk
part,
away.
it's pretty good though. Like I don't know, just for like little gag stuff or like little knickknacks, they're pretty good.
They have some cute home decor stuff. Like
They still need to change their
they
name.
had like a moon shelf and like some lamps that were pretty nice. And
And I brought a Bluetooth table from them. Like it's like a little nightstand table or like a little coffee table. You put your phone on it, just turn on the Bluetooth, and it'll play stereo quality just from your phone.
Oh, okay. You got your tripod from now. Okay. How much was it? Was it
That
$5 up?
it was like $20, $25.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see if I can show you. Don't judge my house now.
Okay.
Oh no, y'all can see it like this.
oh, that's cool.
Let me see if I can put it on Bluetooth. Bear with me one moment. I was gonna say, can y'all say something?
Yes, we saying something. Do we hear us?
Hold on, I'm gonna turn the volume up.
I ain't been drinking nothing except I had some watermelon lemonade mixed with iced tea at Applebee's.
Okay, so it looked like a table.
Yeah, it's just a little coffee table, but it's a speaker.
Nice. Okay.
I don't have the hiccups.
Nice. Okay. You got the hiccups here.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Probably was
I'm over
getting
here
out.
trying to get this one to calm down.
These two.
She's wanting to play ball bad.
What type of dog you got?
She's a pit bull German Shepherd.
Oh, nice. I want to get me a German Shepherd. I don't know.
She's a lot.
Extremely playful.
I mean, I potty trained her really fast. Like it took me 2 days to potty train her.
Oh, wow.
But
Did,
it took me a minute to get her to stop chewing on stuff.
did you get her when she was a pup or?
Um, she was a few months old when I got her.
Gotcha. God, excuse me. I'm cleaning my house, so if I'm not looking at the camera, forgive me.
You're good, Val.
Okay, Val, you
Oh,
probably heard me because I've been feeling like
look, girl, I fixed
what
it.
is it? I've been the one doing it. I don't know where it's coming from.
I fixed it. It's not a mess no more.
Nice.
My sister's like, put it up in a braid so it don't get tangled when you sleep. She goes, you don't deserve your hair. Take care of it or chop it off.
That's a messed up thing to say.
Well, my sister can't really grow hair, so
Oh, I got you.
she got really thin hair. No, I didn't cut it. I hadn't brushed it in like 2 weeks. I haven't brushed it since the last time I seen when me and Cody went on that date.
Oh, where'd y'all go? Now I'm being nosy.
We went to Indiana Beach.
Indiana. I was about to say, you just upstate.
Yeah, we drove up to Monticello.
Gotcha.
They were doing like discount tickets for his sister's work.
Y'all had concerts there, like a lot?
There's a lot of concerts in Noblesville.
Gotcha.
And occasionally, like where I live, there's like a theater downtown. Like occasionally they do stuff, but it's not concert. Like
Gotcha.
concerts are usually in Noblesville or in Indy, or they're like up in Fort Wayne, or like you have to travel to Chicago to get to them.
Mm. Yeah, Louisville typically has like a few concerts at the end of the month or each month. Like,
Like Steve-O was supposed to be here like on August 17th or something at the Long
yeah,
Center.
I actually seen that. I was looking for events to do here because this city is small, not too much, but like the occasional concerts. And then was it Indianapolis is what, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours away, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a good question. I like it. Val. She said, "Was you trying to preserve the day in your hair?" Just joking, right?
Absolutely not.
She was trying to say that day. She was, she was
I
trying.
just be lazy and I don't be messing with my hair like that.
You lucky.
Like,
No,
girl,
I
I
ain't-
need to do my nails. Look how bad they look.
Oh, okay, yeah, dude. You know, man, ugly cute right now.
You tried.
I did. I really did. I really did. What
What's
happened to
another
Cody?
question you want to ask to get ammo? Beauty.
What makes you think I need ammo?
I don't know. I ain't say you personally. You
Well,
live
okay,
stream.
let me think about it then. What? Let me think. Let me think.
Where my guys at?
They can join.
So,
I mean, do you got questions you want to ask? Because I got to think about it. Let me think.
I got some. I don't want to offend nobody though.
No, go ahead. Listen, that we didn't heard worse. I'm sure. Go ahead.
But first is what are some qualities that you see like that will immediately disqualify a guy?
that they do drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you smoke on the little Mary Jane or whatever, but no, nothing else.
And beauty, you didn't answer.
I got so many. It's a whole list. So I don't think you got time.
No,
What's
that's
the
not an excuse.
main thing?
That's not an excuse.
That's I got a lot. Um, overly aggressive. You
Overly
ain't gotta be
aggressive.
overly aggressive. I mean, just tell me what you want. Let me figure it out. Let me do that. When you be overly aggressive, when you gotta assert yourself on me or your opinion on me, when I don't get a chance to figure it out, and you just gonna tell me, I don't like that.
That was gonna be my next question. How many times did he have to say it?
How many times? No, I don't think it's about telling me over and over again. I think it's just about I probably it was something that I didn't want to do anyway, or I had my own idea about it, right? And you wanted me to do it your way. I like to do things my way. I feel like in that way I won't have to be anxious about it because I'm trying to do it your way.
I kind of understand that, but at the same time, um, in this particular scenario, what effects are we talking about? Are we talking about like for the overall household or like just independent decisions?
Okay, like the overall, let me give you an example. Okay, say, oh, okay, I want you to clean out the closet, right? Okay, let me clean out this closet. Now you gonna come back and say, no, okay, I wanted you to clean out the closet, but the first thing you should have did was took all them things off the shelf. Now it don't matter if all them things came off the shelf first or if all the things came off the floor first. The thing about it is I'm cleaning this closet. So I'm doing what you asked me to do. But you want to come and tell me to do it your way. So you want me to take all the things off the shelf first. Now I already got all the things off the floor. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm being overly aggressive because that's a bit controlling.
yeah, I can see how that could be nitpicking.
Yeah, that's so irritating. So that's overly aggressive and you controlling because I had to do it your way. That's what I mean. Not like I'm not gonna do what you asked me to do. I'm just saying let me do it my way. Don't come back and feel like you have to micromanage me to do it the way you want me to do it. Because if that was the case, you could have just cleaned the closet out.
Yeah. Now I completely understand micromanaging. I'll give you that. But the reason why I asked specific scenario is because like I said, this is just me. Overall, like if I'm the man, I'm expected to be the head of the household. and I'm the one to blame when things go wrong. So if there was a scenario like that where it like severely hurts you or affects the house in some sort of negative way, my next question is going to be who takes the blame for that? Because like if he told you a certain way and there was a certain way that need to be done, and like I said, if it needs to be done, then I can't blame him. But if it's something simple like clean the closet, I don't care how you do it, just as long as it gets done.
That's what I'm saying. But some people they will come in and then okay, so all them things off the shelf now. Okay, now you can get all the things off the floor. And then if you don't do it that way, and maybe I'm gonna take all the hangers out now, and I ain't gonna get all the things off the floor. Now we gonna argue because I didn't get all them things off the floor. Next, I took the hangers, and that's what I mean. Like the overly aggressive, the micromanagement. I feel like you could have just simply did it yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
It
100%
wasn't no
with you
reason
on.
for you to tell me.
Yeah, I'm with you on the micromanaging. I can't stand that. Um, but like I said, only because I'm trying to see both perspectives and I'm trying to see what the scenario was. Um,
Mm,
like if it's something that needs to be done like immediate, like hey, there's no time to talk about this, and and you gotta excuse me because I always look at it from a work perspective. So
mhm.
sometimes I throw in like firefighter or emergency management scenarios. Sometimes there's scenarios like where there's no time to talk. I just need you to be like doing it, and it does need to be done a certain way because
Right.
any deviation can actually like harm someone or make the
Yeah.
situation worse. But if it's like I said, if it's something as little as cleaning a closet, no, hell no. I ain't worried about
Right.
that.
Yes, Val, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like when someone asks you to do something and then that someone starts up with you, why you doing it like that? That's exactly what I'm saying. So now you told me to clean out the closet. Now you telling me that don't get the things off the floor first. Get the things off the shelf. So now I'm getting the things off the shelf and I'm getting whatever behind it. Now you telling me so what? And you study coming back time after time after cut. Cut anything that I feel like is a bit stressful that don't have to be. We gonna go through life anyway. So that closet to me is so small that if you blow that up and make that bigger than it needs to be, cut because it's small. Let
Yeah.
me clean out the closet the way I'm gonna clean it out because if that's the case, you could do it. And I feel like if something like the closet, when I say small issues, if you blow up small issues, it makes me nervous for if we have to go through something major.
Yeah. I'm gonna
If we
cut my
have to go
camera
through
off real
something
quick
major, we're
because
going to crumble
I'm gonna cut my
because
camera off
you
real
can't
quick because I
handle
don't want y'all
small things.
laughing at me. I gotta use this beauty mask for my skin.
Okay, has it been working?
I hope so.
Okay. Have you not been digging in it?
I haven't been digging. The issue I have recently is I had to shave.
Hmm.
So whenever I shave, I get razor bumps, and it's
Hmm.
flaring up. So I need something that'll calm it down before it gets bad.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
like
that's
I said, I don't want y'all picking on me because I got a serious like skin issue, and if someone online might see that and be like, "Oh, he got some sugar in his tank or something."
no, ain't nobody about to. We don't do that here. We not about to pick on nobody or sugar and no tank nobody.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to re-pierce my tongue for you, B.
Oh,
I forgot all about that.
okay,
We
okay.
want to know what your first red flag is, though.
Huh?
For me,
Yeah.
Oh, right. What? Right,
um,
right, right.
there's a couple of them. One, I all y'all about to get mad at me.
Yeah.
Immediately upon sight, if I see those long like Velociraptor claws and if I see those big like feathered eyelashes, that's a no. Because honestly, the reason why I think that is you may not understand or you may not even think this at all. But you know how people follow beauty trends and everything, and everybody trying to look like. I lived in Atlanta, so I don't care for Atlanta, and both like the women and like some of the gay guys down there try to like look the same basically, and what I don't like is everybody trying to follow these trends to where it looks like the women are trying to look like men or drag queens. So all that extra cosmetic stuff makes me think that you're hiding something or you don't want me to know something. So just immediately on site, if I see like makeup's overdone or you got too much accessories, it's like, hey, I don't know if you got a PP or not.
Look
Wow.
at that fool.
Um, another thing is if I speak to a girl, how she articulates herself. You don't have to be like extremely smart. You don't gotta be like the like a top scientist or anything like that. Can you hold a conversation and can you express yourself like properly? Like me, I try to take my time and I try to clarify stuff. Whereas like most of the girls I met, they just want to be heard and they think they're making a point, but they're not. They rather like raise their voice or try to win like it's an argument. It's like, hey, if I don't understand something, I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you mean by this? And then most of them be like, oh, I said what I said. Like, get over it, or you need to pay attention. So now it's up for me to interpret how she miscommunicated.
Wow.
I'll tell Val, thank you. I'm looking at her comments. I don't want to be rude, but
She could be.
if that helps with the skin, thank you.
Okay, your turn, Abs Tilly. Second red flag that you like cut. You gotta go.
Hang on. I almost got it all the way through.
Up here.
Oh, you doing it yourself. Oh my gosh. You doing it yourself.
Sure am.
Hey, what
Is
that
this
piercing
your
costs
first
like
one?
$80 to get it done in store or 100.
What?
Four.
Yeah, because I know one of my friends got an earring and it cost him like what 40 to $60 just for them to do it.
Yeah, for the ear. Well, I had got my tongue pierced when I was so young. I was like 18. As soon as I turned 18, I'm like, oh, I want a tongue ring. It was only $20 did. So $80 is nuts.
Not anymore. Depending on where you want the piercing, they're gonna charge the hell out of you.
Really?
I think one ear is like $30 now. If you want both of them, it's around 60.
Wow. That's nuts.
The dog
I
kept
guess.
jumping. Took me a second to get the bottom ball on.
So you just did that yourself,
Yeah, I just pushed it through. I pushed it through the
but
top.
it was already done.
Yeah, I pushed it through the top, the bottom, top, bottom, then I pushed it straight through.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to
Oh,
do
I
math
thought you did it
fast.
yourself. I was about to say that didn't hurt.
Right. I'm like, girl, that's dangerous. It's all kind of veins and run through that tongue.
You'd be fine. Just rub a little alcohol on it.
I
You
gotta
know,
push with mouthwash before I go to bed.
yeah, mouthwash, some alcohol. You gonna really hurt the girl.
It's kind of stiff.
That tongue gonna be on fire.
I've had mine done since I was like probably 19.
Nice.
I'm about to
Now
say Val
what's
busy
the
or will
second
she come on?
what
I
what's
just
the second red flag?
You said what's another red flag?
Yes.
Like I said, for me, it'll be financial literacy is a huge one, but I already touched on that. Um, how she carries herself, in terms of like presentation, like there's a certain way to carry yourself. I'm not going to tell you how to dress or anything, but what's the occasion? So, like, if you're going in a job interview in like pajamas or something, if you like going to like, let's say a very like high class or whatever like setting, like in a fancy hotel or a fancy restaurant, and you got like a thong or like some like skimpy outfit on, that shows me like you got no class or you don't carry yourself a certain way. Or either you never been to like a fancy place, which is fine because most people, but that's just my mindset because I was in the military, and they will tell us, hey, you represent the military both on and off, like away from work, so you have to carry yourself a certain way. So now that standard just kind of stuck. So like if I'm dating and let's say she expects me to dress in a suit or like business casual, like, all right, cool, this is what you like, I'll do it for you. But if I ask you, hey, can you put on like a better gown or something, and then she's like, oh, you can't tell me what to do, I think this like little outfit that shows my cleavage is gonna be cute, already it's like, hey, this ain't gonna work. And it's not more so the fact, like I said, it's not what she's wearing per se. It depends on the setting and what we're doing, because people judge you on first appearances.
Right. Okay, absolutely you.
Um. Okay, let's say that we make it to the point where, like, I'm introducing them to my dog.
Mhm.
Okay.
If she don't like you, you out.
Fair enough. But is this like a one-time thing or is it like a continuous thing?
No,
Like,
like, if she don't like you, it's like when my cat was alive.
mhm.
Like, if he hissed at you, you didn't step foot back in my house.
Because I'm wondering how many dates, because I know like based off of instinct, they're gonna like just be aggressive. Like pets are gonna be aggressive because they're protected. But if they don't know you, they're gonna go off. If they see you a couple of times, they're more relaxed. So that's why I'm asking. Is it like just a one time or is it like over the time you're dating?
Like, probably the first time.
And I think that's a little bit unfair, but I see what you're saying, but I think that's a little unfair.
Like, my cat hissed at my mama, and I haven't let her back in my house. Like, my friend didn't even touch my cat. He just like walked by, and my cat made it a point. Like, my cat doesn't like people,
Yeah.
so he'll just like go and hide. And he made it a point to go up to this guy and hiss at him. Like, he didn't scratch him, nothing, but he hissed at him.
Yeah.
And like, he was trying to tell me, like, not in my house. Because I don't just, have my own life. I share my life with my dog.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is like, in my opinion, it's a little unfair. I can see if you could say like, hey, 3 times. Like you don't got to put set number, but it's like, hey, this is continuous and it happens every time, and you don't notice like any subtle change. Then all right, I kind of get that because your pets are your kids.
Like, They were talking about Cody earlier. Like, she'll get jealous and stuff and like try to sit between us, or like if he tries to like hug on me, like she'll try to like, play with him to distract him from like not being around me
Mhm.
Mm.
because she's jealous. But I'm saying, like, if she growled at somebody, I wouldn't mess with him because she's a really friendly dog.
I got you. Any other questions or anything?
What would your idea be of a perfect date?
I don't have an idea of a perfect date. What I will do, because I experienced a lot, so I don't like doing the mundane or anything. I think it's fair that you go on a coffee date first, get to know the person that you're hanging out with, or in a setting to where if anything were to happen, there's people around. But in terms of like personal date,
Thank
I
you.
don't like that standard. Oh, take me to dinner, take me to the movies, anything like that. I will prefer to take you somewhere that's going to make a memory. Um, one of the dates I wanted to take this girl, when I was in Texas was skydiving because she had mentioned it in one of our conversations. She was like, "Oh, I always wanted to do that, but I was too scared," and I didn't say anything. But the very like 2 days later, I went to the rec because the military base they give you discounts for skydiving. So I could have got a ticket for both of us. That was like $40 for us to go skydiving for two people. And I don't know if y'all ever been skydiving, but the regular price is like
Talking about
135.
skydiving earlier.
Yeah, so it is about 120, 135 for like a one ticket. That's without the video or anything. But I was like, hey, if I can get it for cheap and just drive her there and it's a memory she's always gonna have,
Right.
I'll pay for the date. I'll give her the video too. So when she jumps out of the plane, that's something she's gonna remember forever. So even if things don't work out, she might in passing bring up something. Hey, this one guy took me skydiving. Oh crap! And then like it's not to be a smartass or anything, but it'll make me stand out in her memory. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Because
perfect sense.
I don't want to do what her previous boyfriends did or what someone else did, and then that also carries on to like not necessarily an insecurity, but if I date a girl and let's say she has high standards, she like, oh, I expect you to take me on a private jet. It's not that I'm insecure. It's just like, hey, you're not the girl for me. So
Hey B, are we going skydiving?
You say what?
We going skydiving?
No. Y'all might. I'm not going skydiving. No.
wow,
Mm-mm.
I've been 3 times. What's wrong with skydiving?
So we jumping out of a plane. You jumping out of a plane when you skydiving, right?
Yeah,
I say I'm so nervous about I'm jumping out this plane, I'm falling that I forget to pull the release. So I'm
no, you jump with an instructor. They won't let you jump by yourself until you get like 20 or 25 jumps in.
oh.
I thought it was just like the first one that you had to
Oh
go.
no, no, that's too
See,
much of a
that sounds
liability.
crazy to me. Like, and the
Cause,
second time I'm doing that by myself.
cause
Yeah,
you,
but even with that, I still that don't sound like a fun experience to me.
it is like it depends on your mindset. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say this is, you know how as you get older, your mindset changes. Um, and it's kind of like people look back and they're like, "Oh, there's so much on life I missed out on." So that's my mindset because growing up young, I was in the house, so I joined the military to challenge myself. Like when I started traveling, I started like doing all this extra stuff to challenge myself. So anything I was afraid of, I would challenge my thought on it. Now I do have limits, but I've done so much stuff that most people don't get to experience. So now I'm just like, hey, whoever my like wife will be or my girlfriend, I want her to have some memories that like either she ain't gonna do by herself or no one else has provided to her. So when she looks back on her life and she's talking to her friends, like say I'm out of the picture, like I'm long gone. It just didn't work out. She talks to her friends and her friends like, oh, I've never been skydiving. My boyfriend wants to tell me. She's gonna be like, oh, my boyfriend took me. I did that. Even if she don't like me, it's just like an experience that she will never forget. Like, does that make sense?
Sound like you saying you want to be the best she ever had.
Oh, that does not want to. I am the best.
Oh,
Just saw one of my baby raccoons.
wow.
Sammy scared it. It went up the tree, but
I'm about to say, where you at? 'Cause you sound like you from the south.
I'm in Indiana.
You where?
I'm in Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. I'm sorry, I forgot that fast.
I got a mama raccoon. I feed her, and well, to my uncle's funeral, I came out on the porch. She had 4 babies with her.
Oh, damn. Oh, my bad, dude. All right, I'm back on
Okay.
in 5 minutes.
My other red flag is disrespect because I do not like when people talk down to you. I feel like some people communicate so poorly that the words they choose to use with you, some things you never should have to
Beauty, can
say.
you come closer to the mic? I can barely hear you.
Um, I said the other one is disrespect. Some things we should never say to our partner. I feel like that's the person you're supposed to be the calmest with, the peaceful, respectful, and disrespect. I think sometimes when people talk to you, talk down to you so much, it changes your perspective on them. You be
Mhm.
looking at them different.
And that's a dangerous road because it can change your perspective on them, but yourself also.
Because you be looking at yourself like, did I just accept or take? Yeah, so I think people that's a no. The
I
disrespect.
I agree with that, B.
Thank you, girl.
Because you know from my past relationship that
Man. Yeah, so and then I be feeling like if this person love you, how could they say or do certain things to you? They couldn't. I don't think you could say or do certain things to people if you love them.
I kind of disagree.
Why?
And the reason why I say that is I'm not talking about abuse or mistreatment. There's a difference between discipline and like abuse. Um, and the reason I say that is like sometimes people just don't get it, and it's either you let them fall so they can actually realize it, or you try to like teach them before it gets to a bad area. Like, is that coming
Now you
across
gonna have to give
clear?
out some examples. Cause nah. Example.
You need an example?
Yes.
Yeah. So, uh, remember when we were talking about like parenting before?
But I'm not
Um,
I'm not I'm talking about with your spouse.
yeah,
You
even with a
said the word
spouse.
discipline. Give the example with a spouse.
So,
How
t-
discipline looks for a spouse.
now discipline with a spouse is going to be different because you know how like y'all have some habits. Like, say you never lived with each other and you just finding out. You have to
Mm.
come to agreement that both of y'all can settle on, so it's not one sided. But
Yeah, you find a happy medium.
yeah, but there's also like those hardcore boundaries that you have to set for yourself. And one, it does need to be talked about in the beginning. And that's where I agree with Beauty. Most people don't talk about their issues. They just either have an expectation that's set, and that's to me is the stupidest thing you could do is set an expectation and not like communicate it or lay it out up front. Like, hey, this is what I expect. You just watch the person continue to do something that bothers you. Um,
Right?
but if you set your standard in the beginning, like, hey, this is where I stand, this is a hardcore boundary, is not changing. And then like you got some boundaries to where like you're like, hey, we can work on this, or like this can be managed. Um, but in terms of discipline, when y'all move in together and it's the household, depending on like who's in charge, if y'all split the bills, y'all both gonna have a set of rules that is like, hey, I expect the trash to be taken out every Tuesday. That's instilling the discipline. Tuesday, you know, is trash night. If I let the trash build up and like a week go by, now we got like 2 weeks worth of trash in the house. Now I got to get on you because you haven't been doing your job. Now, if I let that slip and you just think, oh, he hasn't mentioned it, so I guess I ain't got to do it. Now the whole house smell like trash. Now I got to discipline you or I got to yell at you because you've been taking things for granted or you haven't been holding up your end of the bargain. That's what I mean by discipline.
Mm. So you said that was different from abuse.
Yeah, I'm not saying like, hey, you got to beat her behind. Hey, the trash hasn't been taken out. Now I'm going to smack you. No. Um, like there's going to be some things because you're not holding up your end of the bargain. Hey, maybe like I gotta punish you, not like physically, but we ain't gonna go on date nights, or you're not allowed to go in this room, or you can't do this. And now, like you're blindsided out of nowhere. You're like, oh, why are you acting this? Why are you sudden change? Is because you've been taking me for granted, or you haven't been holding up your end of the bargain. Doesn't mean I love you any less. It's just I have to address something that you've been neglecting, or obviously it's not one of your important parts, or like what I mean is it's not at the top of your mind because we're both making sacrifices. But if you're not holding up your end of the bargain, obviously you don't respect me or cherish me the same way I respect you. So it's either you address it. If addressing it don't work, then there needs to be some sort of punishment. If the punishment don't work, y'all don't like belong together. You just leave.
Mm.
But is like I look at a relationship the same way I look at like employment or work. You got your policies, you got your standards that you're held to, and then you got your hardcore like deadlines. Like you do this, you will be fired immediately. It's the same thing in relationships. We just don't like to address it because we like to cover it up with like, oh, my happily ever after or my dream. And most people forget that relationships are work.
Right. Mhm.
Feel free to tell me like where y'all disagree because like I don't know everything. I'm just giving you a one-sided perspective, and I'm trying to be as fair as
I
I
don't
can.
know. I think the discipline, like you said, you was about to start taking things, right? You can't go
And
in this room. You can't.
so I'm
I don't know.
no, I get it,
That's
and like me personally, I don't understand why it's offending you because my next question would be, what would you do if your kids do something wrong or something you don't like in your household, or if it was the same scenario,
so I
like
don't think
with
relationships are like a job. Even though it's a lot of work, I don't look at it like a job because in jobs it's so much business, like business focus and in relationship love focused, so we be a little bit more lenient with
Oh
relation.
no, that's where we're gonna disagree, Beauty. And this is, I don't want to make it a sex thing, but this is probably one of the biggest like different viewpoints between males and females because we're expected to uphold, like my job as a man is to make sure everything runs smoothly no matter what. Like I have to take care of your needs, make sure you're fed, there's a roof over your head, that we got electricity, that the cars run right, everything. Like things you don't think about, you take for granted because it's already done. And what I'm getting at is we've been misled with that love term because to me it's similar to like, hey, ignorance is bliss. You just want to be happy, you don't want to worry about anything. But when reality hits, it's like, hey, I still got bills to pay. And you like, well, I don't want to think about bills. It doesn't mean those bills are going to disappear. And that's what I'm getting at. Sometimes when we get in relationships, one party over the other sometimes have the luxury not to think about things, and then they take it for granted. And then it don't hit you. Like, say if you had a perfect relationship, it wouldn't hit you until your partner dies and you have to carry on that burden that they took away from you the whole time. All of a sudden, you're responsible for all the bills. You got to take the maintenance on the car. You got to pay the life insurance. You got to take care of health care. All things like that that you never had to worry about before.
Yeah.
It's a business. And then even marriage, as much as people want to avoid the subject, marriage ain't nothing but a business. Y'all merge bank accounts, don't you?
Yeah.
There you go. That's where I disagree with you on because that's another thing that kind of irks my nerve is that people try to lie, and I think it's a manipulation tactic personally. Oh, marriage should be about love. That tells me she wants me to be ignorant of her next move. So I always got my guard up in that regards in terms of relationships. And it happens so much. Like the divorce rate is what, 48% right now in the US. And then from a guy's perspective, most women either end up winning because of child support or alimony, but they're not leaving without anything. And from the man's perspective, you're automatically losing 50% right off the bat. Whether you're right or wrong, you automatically lost half of everything you earned in your life. So why should I be lolly-dolly like, oh, I was in love? That's no excuse. I just lost half of what I saved up my whole entire life. And when it hits you like that, or if women ever experience what a guy experienced in that regards, then your mindset would change. But I think that's a luxury that most women have over men is they don't think about the consequences.
We think about consequences.
You kind of distant or broken up. I can't hear you.
I said, oh, we think about consequences.
And are those consequences personal? Because one of the most things I hear, at least from media and watching all these videos and stuff, is they're like, oh, he was abusive, and most of these girls never been hit a day in their life. They consider cursing at them verbally abusive to be like abusive. And if you're trying to like tell someone, hey, this is how we got to do it, like unfortunately it needs to be set in stone or it needs to be a hard play, and they're not listening, how else do you communicate that when they willingly ignore you or willingly go against everything you're trying to set up? Like for example, say me and you in a relationship, I'm trying to build a house and I'm like, hey babe, we gotta save. So we're gonna cut back on some of our budget. We can't go out as much. We can't buy like the luxury items as much because I got a plan to buy a house and pay it off. That way we have security. We don't ever have to worry about a payment all over again. And the very next month you buy yourself like a Birkin bag or something. or you buy yourself like a new hairstyle. You're actively going against everything we're planning to make our life better.
Mm-hmm. So now it's discipline. Well, I see. For me, I don't the fanciest stuff. I'm always thinking about how to save money, so I wouldn't buy that type of stuff anyway. I don't even want the expensive bags or shoes. I always like, can we get something that's way cheaper? I'm okay with that. So
See,
I wouldn't
but
do that anyway.
that's your mindset, beauty. Unfortunately, not everybody has that, and most of society has teetered the other way. But
I know. I talk to people all the time. When I say I have this conversation about how to save money and things that we could budget and not spend all the time, and people be just like, please leave me alone.
uh,
Leave me
look,
alone. I don't want to hear it.
I'll tell you something. I don't want to get too personal, but like I said, the financial literacy is a big thing for me. Somebody I know, I took them to go get a job one time, and they knew a friend that already works there, and their friend was a butcher, and the butcher job for the store was like a 12-hour shift. I said, "How much are they paying?" This was last year. I said, "What's the starting salary?" And he told me the starting salary was about $26 an hour.
Yeah,
Do that
okay.
sound like a decent salary for you?
I think so.
You know what this person told me?
What?
They told me no, they're not about to have me working like a slave. I'd rather sit at home and do nothing. And I said, wait a minute, you're
Right.
making no money right now.
Right.
And then most people are trying to like avoid paying $15 at minimum, like $15 an hour.
Right.
And now you just got offered a job where you know someone that can pretty much walk you through the door, and they're offering $26 an hour, and you got a 12-hour shift. You're making more than most people like just starting out, and you
Mm-hmm.
denied a job opportunity because you don't want to work a 12-hour shift.
Right.
You know how infuriated I was because it was
What
someone
they
close to
gonna
me.
be doing? Was they gonna be a butcher?
That's why I'm saying, I'm like, look, you could have either been in the butcher, like you could have been in the butcher position, or just in the back, like cleaning up after the butcher, like after they cut the meat. Those were the only two positions. But one, you're learning a skill. Two, you're getting paid more than the average people are making just starting out. And that's not even including like promotions or opportunities further down the
Right.
line. Just $26 right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, and you're making nothing right now, but yet you are too good to take a $26 an hour job. It blew my mind. Made me
I
look at
agree.
that person a whole different way. So now I can't even look at him like as a friend or anything. I'm just like, you're a waste of breath. You can't even call yourself like an adult.
Wow.
And then, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm getting passionate about that. Like I said, things like that irritate me.
Yeah. Well, at least they sitting at home now, not not making no money.
Yeah, but like in terms of relationships, like I said, um, it's a business, and if you're not cooperating, the best thing to do is just split apart. But just like in a job, if they can't take direction to get better or like align with like the position they were hired for, and I know this sounds cruel the way I'm putting it, but if we got a plan and it's like, hey, 5 years from now we're gonna have a house, but you're actively going against it, I have to put my foot down and try to discipline and see if you come back in line. But if that behavior continues, there's no reason for me to stay. And then, like in their mind, they may be like, hey, everything was so great. Why didn't you communicate anything with me? When the whole time you weren't listening, you just lost in bliss. Hey, relationship is supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be love. Love don't pay the bills, and that's all I'm saying. Beauty, like I don't see how some people can afford to be like ignorant, especially in this economy, or just not cooperate. Because we all have to sacrifice something in some area. I'm sure you had to do it like when you became a parent. There was something in you that probably hit you like, hey, this ain't about me anymore. This is about my kid. There's something more important. So you can't
Yeah.
do like the same partying like when you were younger. You can't hang out as much like with your friends or anything like that because you got
Mhm.
responsibilities. And that's all I'm saying. Which is more important to you, your relationship or what you want to do currently, just to get that immediate like was it that immediate pleasure versus long term pleasure. And that's what I mean by discipline. It's just pulling you back, saying, "Hey, you strayed too far off our goal. Come back." That's all
Right.
I'm saying.
Okay. So, do you think that the only um abuse is physical?
No,
Is
I know there's psychological abuse like manipulation and everything. Um, and there's also financial abuse to where like people limit you or try to manipulate the money. I'm not ignorant to that. Um, that's their way of trying to get around the laws and everything. And honestly, the laws are kind of rigged in y'all favor as women. So it's not much we can do but leave or like argue, basically, like verbal arguments. The only
mm,
option men really have, if I'm being honest, is to either leave a financial abuse or like a psychological mental abuse.
mm,
Because anything else will only serve to hurt us, like domestic violence, immediately going to jail, immediately losing all your money. Like there's no recovering from that. Even future prospects, like jobs you may be offered, they find out you're domestic violence, your whole life is ruined.
mm.
So when you put it in that terms, at least from a man's side, and you weigh the good versus the bad in these times, it almost seems like a relationship isn't even worth it at this point. And I can't speak for everyone because of course there's like some outliers or those small like groups that are
Mhm.
actually like very valuable. But overall, in a general statement, it's more risk than a reward getting in relationships now.
Yeah. I think women have risk too.
Oh, most definitely. I'm not doubting that. Like I said, no, I'm just speaking from a one sided view as a guy. I can't tell you the woman's side because I'm not a woman. And I
Right.
realize that, but I'm not blind to it. It just like speaking from a biased side because I'm a guy, I see some of the risks that other people go through. I see what's on the news. I see the convictions. I see like the laws and the way they're rigged or laid out. And I'm like,
Mm,
I'd rather not go through all that. It's better for me to be by myself.
right.
Like I said, that's just my view, and I'm biased, but I can admit that.
Dang, she done popped up. Girl, where you go?
I think they gotta go to work.
Where you go, Ab Silly? Bring your butt back.
Nobody in the chat.
Yeah, Soupy will hit in the chat. Yeah.
I'm about to say, I wonder what questions they got, or if they want to come up and
What
speak.
y'all got? What question do you have? What other question do you have?
Hold on, let me think. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, here's a good question. I know because like most women aren't like physically strong, so their tactic to get back is kind of like a social violence or to ruin someone's reputation. Why is that the first thing that's gone to, like when a woman feels disrespected or they feel hurt? It's like, hey, I'm gonna ruin this man's life, or I'm gonna call him an abuser, or like the the R word or something that's gonna demean him or take his future opportunities away from him.
Hmm.
The,
I don't
the
know.
reason why I say that is because I told you before I seen so many marriages like when I was in the military. I'm trying to stay away from that subject, but I seen so many bad things happen to where people are like, well, I'm just gonna say he R worded me and I'm gonna show him, I'm gonna ruin his life. Why is that the go to? Like if a relationship doesn't turn out well.
I don't know. That's strange. I don't. If the relationship didn't work, you just supposed to move on. Just supposed to move on. I don't know. I guess they like to hurt people in the first place.
And
And
because
if they can't put they, I mean, I think just like men, if like how you said they get angry and then they want to put their hands on you and they feel like they can't win that fight, so let's do something else that can actually, I guess, beat you up.
yeah,
They can't do it physically, right? So let's do it
and because
emotionally.
it's one thing like say it's just y'all, but the reason why I bring it up is like, what if there's kids involved? Now the
Mhm.
same person that you chose, you're gonna try to ruin their life. Which, hey, if that's on an adult level, that's between y'all. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But now you got to think about the effects it has on the kids. Like, how am I going to see my father from now on? Is he an abuser? Is he a piece of crap? Do he deserve to be punished? Because kids look at that, and the only one who has the power is the other parent, and vice versa. If the dad's talking crap about the mom, like, "Hey, your mom's a
Right.
H word or a W word. She sleep with everybody. This that. You trying to ruin her reputation. The kid's gonna start to hate their mom or start demeaning her as well. And like, why
Mm-hmm.
I have to listen to you? You out here like doing this, doing that. So,
Yeah.
and I understand revenge. Like I can get very petty if I want to, but I don't think I will cross the line unless it's absolutely necessary, or if I'm that angry about what happened that I will ruin someone's whole entire future. Like if it's a present thing or a past thing, yeah, I got my revenge. It was worth it. But to ruin your whole entire future, uh,
I'm listening.
yeah. And the reason why I ask that is because typically the go to is, like I said, to ruin their social standing or whatever, or make up some story that's not true that
Mm.
will like mess up the rest of their life.
Wow.
Because
I don't know.
I've
You just
witnessed people like literally say, "Hey, such and such R worded me, this that," and I had to write like a character statement or whatever. Like, "Hey, this person never did this, or at least around me, they never like showed these qualities or tendencies."
mm,
And then because the woman typically like is the victim, and is very disrespectful because it takes away from people who are actually victims. But if they claim to be a victim and they want to get their revenge, all right, that's one thing. But now you falsely charged someone that either put them in jail, ruined their opportunity for getting to work, or ruin their family's reputation. Like, hey, you raised a R word or whatever. Now they have to live with that stigma on top of the person um, who was like accused. Meanwhile, the girl that claimed that it never happened, she got away scot free with an innocent crime. I think that's extremely unfair. Anything else or any other questions?
I don't know. Let me think.
I don't mean to get deep. I like having like intellectual conversations, not superficial ones.
Right. So, what do you think about this conversation?
I like it because we're addressing some things that some people are too afraid to talk about. And I get it. You have to reveal some things about yourself, and this is live. So I get it. But I think the biggest issue when it comes in terms of relationships is that we're not honest with each other and people have ulterior motives. And the reason why I joke and I say you're collecting ammo is I believe and I genuinely believe that somebody's going to watch this, hear what I'm saying as a guy perspective, and like, hey, how can I turn this around and use it against my boyfriend? Or I have a thought of what he might be thinking. How can I manipulate this or gaslight? So
Wow.
you saying wow, it happens, but
Mm,
that's the price of being honest with people. At least that's what life has taught me.
mm. Do you wish you don't be honest like an honest person?
100%. Sometimes I do because I think I would be further ahead in life if I was just as dishonest as everybody else.
Mm, that's sad.
Like I said, it is biased because that's what my experiences have taught me.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you something that happened recently is I was backing my vehicle up out of a park like a parking spot at my own house, and some dude came rushing down, and I got a little tailgate on my pickup truck. So he came flying down the parking lot, caught my tail hitch, and then pulled my truck 45 degrees out of the parking spot.
Mm,
And I asked him to exchange information. He claimed, I forgot my insurance. You call my insurance, I'll get my information. So I put my insurance on the phone. I talked to my insurance. He talked to my insurance, and he never called his own insurance. Like 20 minutes later, I called Allstate, which was his insurance, and I said, "Hey, such and such was in an accident. Did he file a claim or talk to y'all?" They said, "No, no one never reported anything." So the only insurance that was called was mine. And then when I asked my agent, I was like, "Hey, what information did you collect from the other guy?" They said, "Oh, we collected his name." I said, "What's his name?" And he said, "Oh, Mr. Kevin, we can't tell you that right now." I said, "Yes, you can. You're my insurance." Like, what do you mean you can't tell me? You got a voice recording. So they're like, "We can't release that information." I said, "But you got mine and everything. I told you the whole story. I'm the one that submitted documentation. You didn't get his ID or his insurance. And my insurance overall, like to make a long story short, they ruled me as the guilty party, even though he hit me."
yep, I had a case like that before too. I really
I,
did. Now
I,
I still don't understand it.
yeah, I had to curse my insurance agent out because I said, "Look, I'm not upset about the car accident." I said, "You just sat here on the phone and it's a recorded line. You can backtrack this." I said, "Literally, you told me that you didn't collect any information from him other than his name, and yet you believed him." And like I'm not making it like a ethnic thing or whatever. Like the guy was an immigrant. He could barely like talk. And my insurance, like I said, he didn't call his insurance at all. he didn't relay any information. If it wasn't for me making sure I got his ID and his registration and I submitted the information for him, I said, this don't make no sense. You got a one-sided story and you sided with the other person. Why am I paying you as my insurance agent if you're not even going to investigate the case? So that literally blew my mind. So
Yes, that is a investigation when you go ahead and tell them the truth. Yeah, this happened, that happened. That's they like to use it against you.
yeah, so lot of things in life have taught me that. So now I have an extreme distrust for people. And I'm like, hey, you look at everything that's going on in the world, like people are manipulating religion, people are manipulating like relationships, they're manipulating everything, financial obligations. I've learned to distrust a lot of things, no matter how reputable or official they may be. So I don't really trust anyone.
So you got trust issues.
Yeah, now I can admit that. Does that make me a bad person?
Yes.
It does. The
Yeah.
fact that I don't trust no one because the
Yeah.
world has shown me.
So you gotta trust somebody. You
That's the
can't not
hard thing.
I mean, I feel like you trust people until they show you otherwise. It
So
sounds
let me ask you this. If someone repeatedly shows you that they're bad with money, do you keep giving them money?
I say you trust people until they show you otherwise.
Th- That's what I'm talking about. I just told you my experience has taught me otherwise. I tried trusting people. So should I
You trusted that person, them
Oh
people.
no, I trusted multiple people. And if one, the first thing I do is look at what I'm doing wrong. And then two, if I know that I've done everything in my power to make the right decision or course correct something, and someone else hasn't even put in the effort or let alone try to like negotiate or say, hey, where did this go wrong? Am I in the wrong for distrusting them? Because they completely abandoned the situation, didn't give a second thought about
Not
it.
right. So not that person, but what about the next person? Do you come in not trusting the next person?
Oh, that's a good question. Because do you do that? When
I
you
don't.
like, I'm
I
not
don't.
trying to evade the question, but a lot of people do that. They put the issues that they face with their ex into the next person.
I
And
don't
I
think that's
paid when I tried dating. I paid for a lot of other people's issues that had nothing to do with me.
I feel like if I'm buying a gallon of milk and I don't got enough money for it, I gotta put it back. So the next person can't, you know what I'm saying? Or if I purchase the milk, they can't go and buy the same milk that I already purchased.
I'm not getting it 100%, to be honest with you.
You can't buy the same thing twice. It was already those issues was already with the previous person. You can't then just transfer them to the next person.
I get that, but my question
Everybody
is,
gonna have their own set of issues,
and
and they
I get
supposed
that,
to be different.
but let me pose something at you. Where'd you get the milk from?
The grocery store.
Now, would you trust that grocery store if they sold you some spoiled milk?
Sometimes we only got that neighborhood to go into that grocery store, right? So now when
That's
I'm
not
going to purchase,
That's
Now
not what
when
I'm
I'm going to
asking,
purchase
beauty.
the milk, now when I'm going to purchase that milk, I'm gonna test it out, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, this milk got to be bad.
And that's what I'm saying. You're gonna test it out. That means you distrust something about it. So that makes you a bad person too.
Wow.
Because what I'm questioning is like I'm not denying I got trust issues. What I'm questioning is at what point do I stop being foolish, or I put my guard up to make sure that it doesn't happen again. I'm not blaming anybody else for what someone
So do
else
you
did.
put people through tests?
Yeah, everybody
You
puts
got
people
so
through
you
tests.
got a tester that's going
Yeah,
out.
women do the same exact thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like this kind of seems like hypocritical because women test men all the time.
In what way?
Dating. Hey, you gonna take me to dinner? You gonna open the door for me? You gonna pay for my meal? You gonna do this? How you treat me? Are you gonna buy me a Uber or take me there? You gonna take care of everything?
In what
Those
way
are
do the men test the women?
those. In what way do the women or do the men test women?
Hmm.
Vice versa. Is she gonna ask me to pay for her meal, or is she gonna offer to pay for her own meal? And that's not like an expectation. That's just to see how she's gonna react. And then two, is she gonna flirt with other guys? Or like is she gonna be on the phone? Like we talked about earlier. Like during the date, I set aside time for you to make you the most important thing during that moment. And you can't do the same for me. Those are all tests. So I don't know why you think people don't test people. It happens every single day. You know, I mean, I guarantee you don't trust all your coworkers. There's some people you avoid, and there's some people you delight in working with. That's
Yeah.
because they either broke a trust or they didn't do their job, and you got blamed for it because their lack of integrity and their lack or ability to do their job correctly. Especially if you're a supervisor, you take the blame for what you didn't even do. Someone else did, but because they fall under you, now you're responsible. So what are you going to start doing to course correct? Are you going to discipline them, or are you going to test them and see what they're capable of?
Mm.
No, I'm not saying this to be like a smart ass or anything, beauty. I hope you
You
don't take
sure?
it that way. I'm just saying, like, these are things that most general people don't think about in terms of relationship. They just either go with the flow, or that saying I hate when they say it is, oh, it's just a vibe. I'm looking for a vibe. To me, if you ever say that to me, it's like, hey, you're ignorant, or you haven't matured. So there's no point in me wasting my time.
It's a vibe all the time. It's a vibe all the time.
Yeah. But that's another red flag. That lets me know like you're not serious. If someone says, "Oh, I'm just looking for a vibe," all
Uh-huh.
right, cool. Find it somewhere else.
Do you feel like you strict?
Say again.
Do you feel as though you're strict?
Strict in what way?
The way you deal with life?
Oh, extremely strict.
Do you want to be?
Not all the time, but it's what's expected, or at least the way I was raised, and it's constantly reinforced. Also,
Hmm.
and what I mean by that, like to further explain it, is one. I grew up as a black man. There's not much expectations set on me because people expect me to fail. Like
Mm,
statistically, we're the lowest ranking or like the lowest earning ethnicity group in the whole US. So people
right,
have no hope for us. Um,
right.
most most black people or black males in this particular case don't even go to college. The fact that I already have a bachelor's degree and I'm working on my second degree is already ahead of the curve. Um,
Oh, okay.
the military only makes up 1% of the whole United States, and that includes all ethnicities. So that means only what point like 0.4% or something, or point 1 2%, because there's only like 12 to maybe 15% African Americans in the whole military. So that already puts me in the top 1%, and I had to uphold a standard on top of just trying to fight the stereotypes of a black man. So
Mhm.
I put more pressure on myself, and then I got medically retired. And even then, I found out um, being in the military, being a veteran means absolutely nothing to the corporate business, even though they told us, hey, we prefer veterans and all that. At the end of the day, I returned to just being a regular black man. And those are the stereotypes or stigmas I face just finding a job. I've never been in trouble, never been arrested. All that means absolutely nothing. And just the way I was raised with these expectations to beat all these stereotypes. These
Mm,
expectations were reinforced when I joined the military. I had to hold myself to a higher degree than a regular American citizen because now I represent the federal government. And then even after, I have to hold myself to a standard just to get a job or just to go to school. So I'm beating the stereotypes in every single way. But has it taken a mental toll? Yes.
mhm.
What made you ask that question? Like just the way I talk or like how I rebuttal the answers?
Yes, seem very strict. Like you don't take time to have fun. Life not supposed to be fun all the time, but it just seems like you don't have fun anytime.
Oh, I do have fun when I can, but there's a time and a place for that. Um,
Right.
to me, the fun things that I do are go on my trips. That I tell you about, like I don't want to keep like throwing it because it makes me seem cocky. But there's a time for working and there's a time for play, and it just so happens that I'm in work mode because I'm trying to better my life. So,
Yeah, I get that.
but yeah, like I'm not denying it. Am I extremely strict? Yes. Has it carried over? Like that's probably one of the reasons why I avoid relationships because it's not that everyone else is evil. It's just like, hey, I got a goal, and someone else in my life right now will probably be a distraction more so than an asset. And it's a shame that I think that way because I'm not trying to downplay anyone else. I'm just like, hey, I need to get my stuff together first before I invite someone else into it. That's just the way I think. So
Right. Feel like other people are would be a burden right now.
in some sense, yes, because although I would love, like selfishly, I would love to have someone that can probably make me relax if I'm being honest with you, because
Hmm.
I know I'm strict, but at the same time, I don't want nobody to relax because they don't they don't take life serious enough to handle their obligations, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because I don't want someone, like I said earlier, that will prioritize their appearance more than their actual needs, if that makes sense. Like
I
it's all
thought
right
I
to
had that conversation and they was like, "No, but you don't get it. You gotta care about appearance." I'm like, and I do get it, but appearance is not the main thing. When you trying to focus on saving money,
Yeah.
and they told me I just didn't get it, and maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Maybe because I was thinking about how to save and be financially stable, not rocky in any kind of way.
Yeah.
So maybe I didn't get it. That
That's
is
the
a
thing.
lot of things that you could just start doing for yourself and not have to worry about appearing so much. I feel like I go without any of that if my goal is to save.
Yeah, and that's the same way I think beauty. And I'll turn the light on me because I don't want to point the finger, but like this is my apartment and it's nothing special. I'm just showing you because I'm an honest individual. I chose to get a like a cheap, decent sized apartment because it's just me. I don't have no one with me, so I didn't see the need for it. Right across the street from me, there's luxury apartments like
Right.
that have a pool, that have a gym. Now, can I afford to get it? Yeah, if I really want to. The reason why I don't get it right now, and I had a conversation with my friend because he told me I was cheap, and I just laughed. I said the reason I'm not getting it is I got a goal right now, and my goal is to get a house. So I don't plan on staying where I'm currently at for too long because I know this isn't like the permanent place I want to be or the state I
Right.
want to be in. It just so happens I need to be here to get my education.
Mhm.
So I'm going to stick out like the 2 years, but during the 2 years, I don't see the need. And this is where I battle with myself because it's not going to like bankrupt me or anything. I can afford to spend the extra money and get a luxury apartment and enjoy myself for like the next year or two down here and just be a little bit more comfortable. Or I can continue to save the money and like during my breaks I can use that money to travel across the world or go to a new country that I haven't been to. And
Mhm.
that's what brings me joy. So um the way I kind of dismiss that is a luxury apartment will be nice, like there's more space. I can entertain people, but I don't really have too many people come visit me anyway. So
Mhm.
I don't see the point in doing that.
Yeah.
Where I can save like an extra $800 to $1,000 and I can use that money and do something I actually enjoy. Rather
Mhm.
it's little activities like taking like Muay Thai or something like that, or just going to get like a spa treatment for the day. That's extra money. I don't have to worry about like coming out of utilities or my next bill. I'm just like, that's throwaway money. To
Yeah.
where like if I had a luxury apartment, I'm like, all right, now let me see what I have to cut out. Can I afford it this month or should I wait to next month? And that's just the way I think.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised how many people I met, like they can't even afford a basic apartment and they got like club outfits, they got new like hair, weave. And I'm not just staying on the women with this because the guy's perspective is they go out and they buy a brand new car so they can look rich, so they can get females' attention. But they come home and like they have a rundown apartment or an empty apartment and
Mhm.
like they're barely getting by because the car note or the insurance is too high.
Mhm.
So and these are all things I've personally seen from like coworkers, people I work with or I hung out with from different places I was at. And I told myself, oh, that will never be me. I'm willing to sacrifice if it takes me a little bit longer to get it, or if I have to cut back a little bit more. I'm willing to sacrifice for what I want as opposed to just living in the present right now.
Yep.
So,
Yep. I tried to have a friend like that. I told them that we gonna get your budget together. You can't buy no shoes, no clothes, no food, and we gonna only work on your budget.
yep.
They didn't listen. They ignored everything I said. They still
Oh,
doing whatever they want to do.
oh no, trust me. Like I know some people. Like, have you heard the phrase "robbing Peter to pay Paul"?
Yes.
I heard some people, or I seen some people, to where they see the next like flashy thing, like whether it's a
Mhm.
couch, it's a car. They're like, "Oh, I
Right.
want it," and in their mind, they'll make up whatever excuse to tell them, "Hey, this is a great decision. Do it."
Hmm.
And I will question them. I'm like, "Hey, I'm not trying to get in your business. Be too personal. What's your budget before you make this decision? Are you living paycheck to paycheck right now, or can you afford to
Right.
spend the extra money?" And they're like, "Oh, I can afford to treat myself." I'm like,
Mm,
"How much?" "Oh, don't worry about that. You're getting too personal." That right there is the first thing. Oh, you can't afford it.
mm,
Second, I asked them why do they need it. "Oh, well, it just looks nice," or like it's the recent model. And
mm.
I'm like, "Oh boy." Like I'm dealing with a child at this point,
Yeah.
because you're seeing the next flashy thing and you think you want to keep up with the Joneses. And then I asked him, "Hey, have you considered what the insurance is going to be on this vehicle? Do you know what the car note is going to be? Do you know, like, hey, we get all four seasons here. Do you know how much it'll cost for like winter tires? Are you considering all-wheel drive versus two-wheel drive? Like things they will never think about." And I'm just like, "It's going to cost you extra. Are you sure you can afford this?" They're like, "Yeah, I can." And I'm like, "All right, I don't want to hear nothing about it. Like, don't tell me that you're doing bad or you need some money." And sure enough, 2 months later, "Hey, can you help me out?" "No, I didn't make the decision. You're not about to
Yeah.
put
Do
my
you
life
ever
on
notice
hold or
that
take away
rich
from
people?
me because I got to help you out of a decision that you willingly made."
Do you ever notice that rich people look like poor people and poor people look like rich people?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Even Warren Buffett said it on one of his interviews. They asked him why he don't live in a mansion because he was the richest man in the world. He lives in a 3 bedroom house in a public like town, like a little what's it called, a cul-de-sac or something. And he just lives and he drives, I think, like a minivan. And you'll
Mm,
never know he's the richest man in the world living in a regular
mm,
suburban neighborhood.
mm. Yeah.
But it blows my mind because when I see stuff like that versus our representation as like black individuals, the first thing you see from a rich black person is a big gold chain, some Nike sneakers, or like a brand new car. That's the
Mm.
first thing you see. And it's
What they
becoming
have.
it's becoming like embarrassing on a global scale. Cause like although it's cool that like our ethnicity sets the cultural standards of what's cool worldwide, when I've actually lived outside the US and I've seen other cultures, a lot of them laugh at us because they're like, "Hey man, like y'all buy stupid stuff." And it's like two completely dynamics. Like people love the entertainment portion, but when it boils down to it, we have like a poor representation both inside and outside the US. And this goes back to like my thought on like beating the stereotypes, because after experiencing that, I'm like, I don't want to be another statistic. And it even hurts me to say that, but that's the image we built. And just like with the crime rate, how police see black men, they're like, "Oh, that's a criminal," or "He got a record." Like, you don't know me from a can of paint. You don't know that I got a college degree. You don't know I served in the military. You don't know that I'm doing good or like my car is paid off. All you know is the stereotype, and you're like, "Hey, I want to pull them over because I suspect something." That's the image we built for ourselves, and it's sad.
Right. Right. And most people don't want to talk about it. They want you to really be quiet.
Say that again.
Most people don't want to talk about things like this. They want you to be quiet.
Yeah, and part of it is a control thing because it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. If
Mm.
people can continue to live their life and not think about the serious things, they're going to do that because that's what's easier. Um, from like a psychological standpoint. But other than that, people don't want to address like their failures because it genuinely hurts them. But if you don't address it, you'll never learn anything.
Right, because it's hurting you anyway. You might as well get that hurt, acknowledge it, fix it, and move on.
Yeah, because like you said, there's so many people I try to help. Like, and when I say that, I mean family and friends.
Yeah,
And just like how you said, you offer to help, you spend time with them. Hey, we're gonna set up a budget. We're gonna get you a plan.
yeah,
And they be like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to cut back. I like
yeah,
my cigarettes. I like my alcohol." I'm like, "You can't do that. It's hurting you."
yeah, yeah.
But
And that budget, the thing that they cut out is you.
yeah, whenever you address money to people, the first thing they do is cut you out. Oh, you
Yep,
offended me.
yep.
Like how?
You be the thing they take away out of that budget because they don't want to hear it. If they cut you out, they can continue with all the bad habits they have.
Yeah. One of the funniest things I will never forget this was when I first got in the military. We had this one kid. He wouldn't listen, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a grown man." Like he was only 19, and he's like, "I can do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do with my money." And we were like, "All right." And the first thing he went out and bought was a brand new red Mustang. And to put things in perspective, Beauty, at the time, we were only making about maybe 700 every 2 weeks, or like what 1,400 every month, and that's before taxes. This fool went out and got him a brand new Mustang that year, make and model, like the newest year, and his car payment was about 60 to 70% of his paycheck. We found out because we went to the bar as a group of guys. We were like, "Hey, we're gonna go out as a department. We're gonna chill." He went to the ATM. And they were like, "Hey, everybody's gonna buy shots or buy a round because it was only like $1 or $2 for shots." And when it was his turn, he was like, "Hey, can you guys spot me?" Like, what do you mean? Everybody else paid for the drink but you. What do you mean spot you? He showed us his ATM and he had negative $50 in his account. And it was about to be 500 because he hasn't paid his car note for that month.
Can you repeat that?
I said, this kid that I worked with, he went and got a brand new Mustang. And we found out how bad he was in debt because we asked him to buy shots one time. And everybody that went out with us had brought shots for our coworkers but him. And then he asked us, can we spot for him or can someone buy the shots for him because he couldn't afford it? So we being the guys, like we live together as firefighters, so we know each other's business. It was like, no, man, show us your bank account. What's going on? He pulled up to the ATM, showed the bank account. He had negative $50 in his account. And it was about to be like another, what, $500 to $700 that was about to go negative because he had missed his car payment. So
Wow.
yeah, like
So
I'm
what
not
did you do
making.
to help him?
Say again.
What did you do to help him?
Oh, we didn't help him. He's a grown man. Remember, this was the same kid that was like, "You can't tell me how to spend my money. I'm grown." Like, what makes you think we're gonna give you money after that? Like I said, that was a willing decision you made.
Right.
No, nobody told you to go out and buy that car. And like I said, his car note by itself was about 60% of what he was making. Because like a E1, and you can look this up or Google it now. E1 in the military doesn't make that much. About to go to sleep, Beauty.
Nope. You?
I'm about to call it a night soon. I gotta get up and do some homework, so I
Oh,
can't stay too late.
okay. I'll talk to you later.
All right. It was a good talk though. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Good night.
All right.
Good
Good
night,
night.
y'all.
Later.